Alright, hello and welcome back to Standard Driving with Alan from Young Drivers of Canada. Alright, so let's go over a quick review in case you haven't seen my first video on how to start the standard car. So we put our clutch foot in all the way, apply a gentle brake, put the key in, and turn. And the car should start. Remember, if the car doesn't start, it's probably because your clutch foot isn't all the way down. So now, as we remember, we have our gear shifter over here. We want to start to move forward. So in order to start and move forward, we need to select our first gear. So what we're going to do is select first gear. So if you notice the shifter here, it has a pattern on it to tell you which way the shifter should go. In all cars, the shifter in the center console here, it wants to stay in between 3 and 4 roughly, right there. So what happens is the shifter goes, that would be 5 in reverse, and this would be over to 1 and 2. So it's spring loaded, and it pulls it back to the 3 and 4 position. So if I was just to go straight up from here, it would put it into the 3rd gear. And then if I came straight down again, it would put it into the 4th gear. So let's bring it back up to neutral then. So again, we need to start the car. So the car's been started. We need to start to move forward now. So let's move it over to first. So in order to get to first, let's follow the pattern on the shifter over and up. So pull over and then up. And once it locks in on the up position, you can let go. And it stays in that position. So if you notice, it's slightly on an angle going this way towards me as the driver. So now we have it in gear. So if it's in gear, the car, we must leave our clutch foot all the way to the floor, and that would be the left leg here. So I got to leave it all the way to the floor. Now what we need to do, because we should always drive with our parking brake on, is we're going to release our parking brake. So thumb in, you need to hear it click, and push it down. That's how it engages. You hear the clicking sensations going on. If you need to release the parking brake and you're pushing your thumb in and it's not releasing properly, what you want to do then is pull up just a little bit and then push the button in and then down. It'll go down smooth and easy. So now we're in first gear. Parking brake is off. Let's see this foot movement now. So now we need to release our clutch. So focus on our clutch foot here, our left leg. So we want to bring your clutch foot up roughly to the friction point. And the friction point is where the car starts to shake. So for me, the friction point's right about there. I'll bring it up just a little bit higher so you guys can hopefully see it in the video. The car is starting to shake quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is go up to that friction point, back down, back up, find the friction point. So for beginners, a good practice is to do this repeatedly, maybe in an empty parking lot or in your driveway if you have a good, nice big driveway. Up, find that friction point, and down. Do that several times until you get what we call muscle memorization built up in your left legs, so you find your friction point faster and easier. Now, if we're going to actually move, what I want to do is I'm going to move my right foot from my brake to my gas pedal. Just hover over the gas pedal a little bit. Don't use it, but get ready. Now, bring your left foot up, your clutch pedal, to the friction point. So right about there for me. Now I'm going to introduce just a little bit of gas. Right? And I'm going to bring my left foot up ever so slowly to the top and off. And we're moving. So clutch in and brake to come to a gentle stop. So anytime you want to stop the car, you need to put the clutch in and then apply the brake. So clutch, brake to stop the car. Every time you stop the car, it should be clutch in. The only time you clutch is when you stop and shift gears. So if you ever wanted to just slow the car down, don't be afraid to use a gentle brake and just keep the car slow. So right now what I want to do is I just want to back up a little bit from where I was last. So what I got to do now is find my reverse. So now I'm in first, so I'm going to pull it down slightly. Springs over to 3 and 4, over, and down again. That's my reverse. Right, as I said in the first video, it's usually common to have the reverse to to the right bottom corner for you. So now, what I need to do is the exact same as before. But when you reverse, you actually never bring your foot off the clutch pedal all the way. You kind of want to keep it around 3/4. So I'm going to find the friction point. It's right about there. This car's vibrating. Add a little bit of gas. A good trick for beginners as well with the gas pedal is kind of bounce it up and down, just a little bit at a time. Up and down. Because if the clutch is coming up, your gas pedal then should be going down. So what beginners tend to do sometimes is they get anxious. So I'm going to put the parking brake on. Just going to put it in neutral and show you what I mean. When you get to this point here, you tend to do this with the gas pedal. And beginners, you tend to get really scared when you hear that sound and you let go of the clutch. You bring it out like that real quick and the car stalls. Another thing to remember is that the gas does not control the car in the startup. It's the clutch work. So it's clutch in, clutch up to the friction point, hold it there for half a second, adding a little bit of gas. So if you add a little bit of gas, the needle's around 2. That's a perfect spot. And then bring your clutch slowly up with the heel off the floor. And then move it over to the dead pedal on the side, your left foot. Try not to drive with your foot on the clutch the whole time, getting ready, because it actually separates the clutch pedal just enough, or the clutch plate enough, that it can wear away faster. So you kind of want to keep it over to the side here as much as possible. So we're going to stop. It's clutch, brake. Alright, so there's some more basic tips and startup for standard driving. Again, brought to you by Alan from Young Drivers. I'll have some more videos out for you guys to show you how to actually go through the gears. This is the hard part here. Once you guys have learned to clutch in and out and you've mastered that ability to start and stop, the rest of it from there will go pretty quickly and pretty easily. This is very frustrating in the beginning right here, clutching in and out, in and out. You will stall sometimes quite a bit, but don't give up and keep trying.